What it do, y'all? Hey, back in the office, man. Hey, my condolences go out to all the family and friends of the people that was impacted of that in that pile up. I think it was in Texas. That was crazy right there. And not only that, the dude that initiated all this, he claimed you wasn't drunk, right? But you was on something. They know you was on something, bro. You was high. You was on some type of drug, dog. To make a chain reaction like this happen, man. That come from being too high and not paying attention, man. Why was you even on the road like that, man? With all the innocent people, man. Straight up, man. That shit be driving me crazy, nigga. Wait till you get home to get high, dude. Or a rest stop or something. Don't be putting all these people's lives in danger on that road, man. That road dangerous, man. Straight up, man. Let's get into this, man. They arrested this punk ass.
Received the arrest affidavit for the driver who's been charged after last night's deadly crash on Interstate 35. 5 people were killed in that 17 vehicle pileup. It happened near Palmer Lane.
17.
The suspect, Solomon Wadikil Araya, is accused of driving while intoxicated. He faces 5 counts of intoxication, manslaughter, and 2 counts.
Man, look at this nigga, man. Will somebody come look at this shit? That nigga was popping them perk 30s, man. He was popping them perk 30s, man, them fentanyl pills, man. Look at him, man. I'm telling you, somebody done gave him one of them ooh-wees, man. Straight up, man. Look at this nigga. Man. All them people lives, man.
Of intoxication assault. We want to bring in KVU senior reporter Tony Plohetsky to walk us through this new information. You have that affidavit in your hands, Tony. What does it say?
Yeah, we got it just a few minutes ago, but according to this affidavit, police believe that that driver was under the influence of depressants at the time of this crash. The driver stated that he did not consume any alcohol, and also, according to this affidavit, tested 0.0 on a breathalyzer exam. But at the scene of this crash, police say, according to this affidavit, that he still failed a field sobriety test, and then they actually took him to the hospital for further examination. So again, we know the driver at this point has been charged or is facing charges of intoxication manslaughter, 1 charge for each of those victims, as well as 2 counts of intoxication assault. But again, this affidavit making clear that police at the scene believed that he was under the influence of depressants. Also, apparently witnesses when he first arrived told authorities that he may have been trying to leave the scene at that time, and that authorities later found him inside of that 18-wheeler. Brian and Ashley.
Still really early in this investigation, Tony. This, of course, a huge part of that. What's next in this case?
Yeah, so you have, of course, the criminal investigation, and then you have the accident investigation. But authorities are still trying to learn everything they can about the moments that led up to that crash. So, for example, they are likely doing things like trying to collect video evidence from nearby businesses that may have caught what happened on camera. And in addition to that, I'm told that these 18-wheelers, these big rigs, actually have a lot of information on the rig themselves. So, for example, it may have locked in how fast he was going at the time, whether or not he applied his brakes at the time. And I think authorities also were trying to determine whether or not there were cameras on the rig itself that may have captured those devastating final moments leading into the crash.
You know, when you say a depressant, is there any other information that we can get from that, Tony, whether this was some sort of medication or whether this was some sort of drug use?
Yeah, that's.
He was off them films, man. I'm gonna tell you what they tell you that. I'm gonna tell you it's called films in the Midwest, man. Nigga was feeling them and couldn't shake it, man. He was feeling too good, dog. Nigga probably thought he was at the crib on the couch, man. Sad situation though, man. Endangering all them people's lives like that, man.
That's a good question. And according to the affidavit, it refers to CNS depressants that they believe he was under. And actually, according to this affidavit, it says that police believe those drugs left him in a state, this is a direct quote, not capable of operating a vehicle safely.
But you was operating.
It is important to note that a person can be under the influence and intoxicated because of drugs, not necessarily alcohol. And clearly, that is what authorities in this situation are saying in this affidavit they believe happened.
A big step in the investigation. Senior reporter Tony Pileski with the very latest from the overnight crash in North Austin. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
Let's now check in with KVU's Jessica Cha. She's live at the scene there in North Austin with what things look like there today. Jessica?
Brian, we have been out here since about 10 this morning, where we saw crews cleaning up the last of the gnarled metal, glass and blood off of the southbound lanes of I35, and those lanes did open back up at about 1 today. But earlier in the day, we were able to talk to a woman who says she has an employee who was involved in the crash and that he's okay, but ultimately he is shaken up. Now we spoke with Cynthia Hirazuelo, who says her employee was driving around 11:30 last night on the southbound lane of I35 near Palmer Lane when he was caught in the crash that involved 16 other vehicles. 17 people were involved and 5 of those people died. She says her employee helped to pull out other people out of their cars and saw others die. She says she's shaken up by what happened, but not surprised. She says this stretch of I-35 is usually extremely dangerous to drive on.
It's horrible. It's either there's always an accident. It's just people speeding down the freeway. It's people just being inconsiderate. It's a construction zone, so people are just zooming by and not realizing stuff like this can happen.
And of those 5 people who died, officials say 1 was a child and 1 was an infant. And as we talk about the suspect in this crash today, court records out of Wilmer, Texas show that Wadikiel Araya has also been accused of speeding there and was due to appear in court next week. Now, we did reach out to the attorney who was listed under that case, and we have not yet heard back from him.
That's the end of that job. Damn. That nigga made a mess, man. Try and get high and drive, man. Knowing you probably just now getting a hold of what you getting a hold to now. You know what I mean? Like, you probably wasn't on that shit before you got a hold to some money. Real talk, man. He one of them, you can tell, man. Like, he doing what he see other people do, man. For real, Ezekiel. Yeah, nigga, you done made a mess out there, man. Hurt a lot of families, man. Because you want to be high while you at work. And not just high, not marijuana, not weed high. Nigga, you want to be cross-eyed high. You want to look goofy. But it is what it is, man. Hey, subscribe to the channel, man. Leave your comments, man. Y'all know what it is for me, man. It's 1942, man. And I'm out.